Our lesson plan for today is Chapter 10, Over the Internet. Our group members are Jordan Riggs, Molly Oxner, Gentry and Hannah Fowler. Tim Berners-Lee. Tim was the inventor of the World Wide Web. The idea of the interweb dates back to the 1960s. Tim Berners-Lee creates a program called Enquire to organize documents, list of people and projects on his computer. In 1989, he returned to his Enquire idea and started writing the software for the system World Wide Web. Important leaders. Doug Engelbart staged a demonstration of his vision of an interactive computer. Ted Nelson described a form of non-sequential writing called hypertext. Hypertext is a material formatted to contain links that allow the readers to move easily from one section to another and form document to document. Hypertext HTTP standard set or rules is used by web servers or browsers for sending and receiving text. Social media, sharing our lives online. Social networking are people who are able to share their views and opinions on popular texts. Social media is websites that allow users to generate content, comments, tags, and network with a friend or other like-minded people. The internet is the most recent of the mass media. It is still rapidly evolving and changing just as the radio did in the 1920s. Like radio, the internet was not conceived initially as a mass medium. Instead, the first wide area computer networks were designed to enable academics and military researchers to share their data.
Ads and media advertising. Despite the name World Wide Web, one reason newspapers succeed is that they are local. Classified ads are the most important source of revenue for newspapers, whereas banner advertising is the most prominent form of advertising on the web. The main advantage that online media offer consumers is that they can customize a site to deliver only the news they want. Traditional versus new media. Traditional media companies that publish news online are sometimes called click and mortars. They are larger economic and journalistic resources that do the .coms and include existing media companies and news channels, such as Gannett, NBC, and Disney. TV is very limited because covering one major story prevents stations from donating time to other stories. Newspapers are a big role, and they have been able to create websites in part because they already have staff together news. Tim Berners-Lee released World Wide Web as an easy and uniform way to access material on the internet. The internet is a diverse set of independent networks. The internet is the most recent of the mass media. Mass media is diversified media technologies that are intended to reach a large audience by mass communication. How the internet was developed. The internet was originally developed and let computers talk to one another, and today it's used to communicate with one another. APRNet connected 4 different institutions, which were UCLA, Stanford, Santa Barbara, and Utah. As APRNet extended to more and more universities, other networks were formed.
Data and more. TCP/IP was a protocol. It controls how data are sent out on the internet. Computers as communication tools. What makes computer-based communication so powerful is that it includes every level of communication. Video games versus communication. Video games consoles are to carry more information that people are unknown about. Video games are a new avenue for advertising. You have all of these younger kids who act like the video games. Video games now, more than ever, are the side of the entire communities. They are used more common with younger children and older teens. It's common that some adults use video games more than teenagers. According to the book by Ralph Hansen, video games can be more profitable than the movies. In summer 2008, the controversial video game Grand Theft Auto 4 was released at about the same time as the hit movie from Iron Man. In its first 2 weeks of the release, Iron Man grossed approximately $200 million, whereas Grand Theft Auto 4 grossed $500 million over the same amount of time. Blogs. Tim Berners-Lee created the World Wide Web. Tim once stated we ought to be able not only to find any document on the web, but also to create any kind of document easily. You see today that you have teens using Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and more. A good example of how people blog and what to blog of is Tumblr. A lot of people do it to express their feelings because they have nobody else listening. Lots and lots of criticism come from these. New media. Competing with the traditional media on the web are the web magazines. How do these differ from the real magazines? You can tell that magazines online have a low publishing cost and can be updated at any time. Example, the website Wikipedia. One thing the web magazines offer that print and broadcast magazines cannot respond to the message board.
Social media, sharing our lives online. Society today thinks of mobile phones as being a transformational technology, but the social networks interfere. What is a social network? According to researchers M. Chetan and Mohan Ramanthan, social network connects individuals or groups over a common platform. Search as a medium. Various governments around the world want to put limits on the searching we can do, much like censoring. The USA does not censor internet, but China censors their internet. Long tail of internet news. The internet through blogs, podcasts, and user video sites such as YouTube have opened up options for long tail news. This has allowed cell phones to have international capabilities. The hacker ethic. A set of values from the early days of interacting computers that hold that users should have absolute control over their computer systems and free access to all information obtained on those computers. The hacker ethic shaped much of the development of the internet. Steve Jobs built blue boxes that let him place long-distance calls for free by bypassing AT&T's control system. People can hack the World Wide Web. You have absolutely no privacy on the internet. The common use of the internet is known as cyberspace. By the 1990s, everything was all over the internet. Community of the net. People no longer need to be face-to-face to interact. Only 24.7% of the population has internet access. Compare that to North America, who has 73.9%, Latin America, which has an access rate of 30%, and Africa only has 6.7%. There are conflicts over digital media. The web is inappropriate for children. Children love to explore and find things that can cause a virus. Schools need filtering software. The World Wide Web has no privacy, and people can make cookies to track people's information. I hope you enjoy our lesson plan today over the internet.